Specifically, what this video is about is hunting bullets or hunting cartridges. Now, right off the get-go, ladies and gentlemen, of course, you can see I've got several rounds laid out in front of this camera here. This is a big subject, and it's a subject up to debate and up for debate, and I'm just covering this generally. After 40 years of hunting, I do believe that I've got something to say about the various hunting cartridges, hunting calibers, hunting rifles, or whatever have you. Okay, starting right off to right over here on the left hand of your screen, what I got right here, in the state of Montana, believe it or not, it is legal to use rimfire for hunting. I know in a lot of states, unfortunately, you guys can't even use centerfire cartridges. You're stuck with shotguns and stuff like that. This is a 17 HMR. That stands for Hornady Magnum Rimfire. And basically what this 17 HMR, is a 22 Magnum shell that's been necked down to 17 caliber. Look at that little dinky bullet. 17 grains on that bullet. This here is one of the most accurate cartridges I have, but it is also something I do not recommend for hunting. This little bullet, this little 17 grain bullet, because it's too light to bring down big game animals, only weighs 17 grains. Okay, I just thought I'd clear that up right off the get-go here. And of course, I got a box here. These are what I like in that 17 Hornady Magnum Rimfire, these B-Maxes. And I always use in my rimfire CCI. I've had the absolute best luck with CCI ammunition. Okay, let me set that box aside and move right over to the next round. This is a 22 Magnum. 22 Magnum, chambered by Winchester. I think they developed the cartridge years ago. Now, I happen to know firsthand that because this bullet right here weighs around 40 grains, it's 3 times more powerful than a standard 22, and you can use this for hunting. I don't recommend it. I just simply don't recommend these light 22 rimfire, 17 HMR, or anything like that. But I just thought I'd throw this stuff in so I can make some sense here. And of course, what I just showed you there is a hollow point. These are, they call them maxi mags, at 22 WMR, that's Winchester Magnum Rimfire. That's what that stands for. But there again, if I was going to use a rimfire, it'd be 22 Magnum. You can bet your rear end on that, okay? But I don't recommend it. Okay, moving right along here. Let me grab up this scary looking guy right here. This big piece of artillery here, get that. This right here is a 450 Marlin, ladies and gentlemen. What this is the modern version of the old 4570 government black powder cartridge. This is a Hornady Lever Evolution round. It's a 320 grain round. It's got a nylon ballistic tip, and believe you me, when this hits something, it's just like you might as well be getting hit by a bowling ball. Here again, I don't recommend something this big, because you know what this is going to do? This is going to blow a hole right through a deer or an elk. That's what I primarily hunt. Great if you're hunting. I use this is one of my grizzly bear rifles, okay, my 450 Marlin. But the selection of these rounds and all that, is very, very important when it comes to hunting. Plain and doggone simple. This is something you want to use for, in Africa or whatever have you. But here's the doggone box that these things come in. I just thought I'd show you this. 450 Marlin, ladies and gentlemen. That's a 325 grain round. Here again, too big. It's too big. It'll blow holes right through game and whatnot have you. And I bought that rifle years ago for grizzly bear protection. Okay, now we're going to move into one of my most favorite cartridges on the face of this planet. A 270 Winchester. Plain and doggone simple. These are Winchester PowerPoints. These are 130 grain. On a 270, you'll hear me speaking a little bit about grain weight because it's important on these bullets. because what you want a bullet to do is be able to hit your big game animal, but be able to mushroom up and put that animal right on its knees in a quick hurry. Because you don't, like this 450 Marlin down here, for example, you're going to get a lot of shoot through. And these other two cartridges are way too light. The bullets are too light. The best absolute, one of the best absolute rounds that a kid can buy for hunting, or rifles, if you will, is a 270 Winchester. It's just that simple. And I have another one sitting right here. This is a little bit different of a bullet. It's still 130 grain. You want to stay at 130 grain on the 270 because it's the most accurate. I know. I've owned 4 or 5 270s in my day, and this is a very, very accurate cartridge. This cartridge right here basically is a 30-06 round that's been necked down to 27 caliber. And I can't even tell you how many big game animals, especially mule deer bucks, that I put right on their rear end with one shot. But I really do like these silver tips, because that's an aluminum tip bullet, if you can see it right there. And this thing mushrooms up real well, and it does not blow through animals. Because you want to be able to get in there and foul up that clockwork and put them down in a quick hurry. That's what a hunter's job is to do. One shot, one kill, and put the animal down humanely. They don't even know that they've been hit, okay? And I prefer, when you get to talking about 270s, these Winchester Super X's right here. I remember buying these rounds right here from Cabela's years ago. You can even see that. They were a 50th anniversary, I think, or whatever have you. Okay, sometimes I have to turn to online vendors because I can't find ammo. You know, with this war on terrorism, ammo's gotten very, very scarce and all that, but it's starting to come back. But this right here is my absolute most favorite round for the 270 Winchester. Them 130 grain silver tips or the power points. They both work really, really well. Okay. Got that out of my hair. Now, let me move on. Let's see, the next cartridge I got sitting right here. This, ladies and gentlemen, is a 7mm Magnum. Back in the old... Remington commercialized this cartridge back in 1964. It used to be called the 284. That's what caliber 7mm is. 284 Washburn Magnum. Now, there's not a lot of belted Magnums around anymore, but believe you me, I have taken one elk at 500 yards with that round right there. These are Remington rounds. They're 150 grain bow tips. They call them AccuTips. And do I recommend shooting at long distances? Absolutely not. But when you're a desperate hunter like me and you spent 3 weeks tromping through the woods and everything or whatever have you, not seeing much, every once in a while we're forced to make long shots. The longest shot that I've ever made on a mule deer with my 270 is 425 yards. I paced it off, I know. With these silver tips right here. Longest shot I ever made on an elk, a cow elk, with this 7mm Magnum, 500 yards, right in that. But most of my big game animals, 80% of them have been killed in that 150 to 100 yard range, and that's a fact. And these AccuTips right here, this is what the box looks like. I really like them. 150 grain AccuTip bow tail made by Remington. When a big game animal gets hit, because the round out of this right here is moving at about 3,400 feet a second. I mean, it's really cooking out of this old 284 Washburn Magnum. And the 270, it's moving at about 3,000 feet a second. And like I say, when you hit something fair and square with this 270, they know they've been hit. I've taken several elk in my day with the 270, so there you are. Okay, the last I want to bring to your attention, this right here, this is a silver tip again, but this is a 30 caliber. This is a 308. This is my latest hunting cartridge, if you will. I set up a Ruger M77 gun sight Scout for brush shooting and all that kind of stuff like that. But out of all the 30 calibers, this 308 is the most well balanced that there is. Plain and doggone simple. You've got the 300 Winchester Magnum, you got the 338 and all that, but here it is with these. Every time you hear that word Magnum, you know what I automatically think up? Blown up meat, because there's nothing worse than going out and hunting with a great big heavy, say this cartridge right here, and you destroy a bunch of meat. What you want is these rounds to be able to hit the animals and put them down humanely without destroying a bunch of meat that you're trying to eat. Otherwise, there's no point in going hunting. It's just that doggone simple. And like I say, this 308 right here is a SILVERTIP again, and here's the box. I'm just showing you this kind of stuff to show you I'm not pulling your leg. I like Winchester ammunition, and so, but like I say, this subject here is open to a lot of debate, because I can hear a lot of people, well, my grandfather shoots a 30-40 Craig, and he's killed I don't know how many white-tailed deer, and blah, blah, blah. Well, fine. That's because your grandfather has confidence in what he's doing, and he understands his rifle or whatever have you. Son, there's lots of rifles out there, but I thought I'd do a video showing you, light to, what I consider on the left-hand side very bad to moving over to the right to very well-balanced cartridges. But a lot of times, if you're having problems with with a particular round or your rifle or something, switch bullet weights. Because that's another thing, too. You never, I'll use this for an example, never buy bullets that are bronze tips, that are bronze tipped and whatever have you like that, because what will happen is you'll get shoot-throughs on your animals, and you want a round that gets in there and swells up about the size of a quarter and takes out that clockwork and whatnot have you, and it's a done deal. Okay, so I just thought I'd throw out a few of these offerings here. There's lots of calibers out there and all that, so you'll have to make up your mind what's best for you, and of course the hunting conditions and the terrain that you're in and everything like that. But out of all what you see right here, my absolute most favorite is the 270, plain old 270 Winchester. Not none of these Winchester short magnums they've come out with. I don't believe in any of that kind of stuff like that. I'm a little leery when it comes to that word magnum, because those kind of rounds, those kind of cartridges are hard on big game animals. What I mean is you destroy a lot of meat. And so that's all there is to it. So I can see this file is way too long. I got to get gone, but I just thought I'd throw this in here. And for especially you novice hunters, you hunters that are first starting out, what I basically recommend, I might as well let this run a little bit longer, is get you a cartridge that's a multi-purpose cartridge like this 270. And while I'm on this subject here, the 25-06 is another good one. It's a 06 cartridge, a 30-06 cartridge that's been necked down to 24 caliber, or excuse me, 26 caliber, not 27 caliber. That's what a 25-06 is. Okay, you take like this 308 right here, for example. You take the 243 round. That's another one. That is nothing more than a 308 cartridge that's been necked down to 24 caliber. That's what a 243 is. That's another good, real excellent hunting cartridge, okay? Simple as that. So, a lot of people can't afford a lot of different rifles and stuff like that, so pick your rifle well. But what I recommend that any young hunter or any novice hunter does is whatever rifle you got, just get to know it, get it sighted in, know what you can do with the rifle, and pick softer bullets, play around with different bullet weights, and finally you'll get, you'll start getting the groups that you need, and you'll start harvesting a lot of animals and whatnot have you like that. So that's all there is to this. Okay, this file is way too long. I got to get gone. Thank you very much for the movie review.